first of all, you don't get that long. I was told I get 6 minutes. It ended up being 7.5. The Prime Minister is someone who likes a bit of a chat. He does. His answers are quite long, although I'm not exactly in a position to criticise given this podcast. But he's someone who does, will speak for 2.5 minutes. And if you've got 6 minutes, that's 3 questions. And after the third question, off camera, and of course they don't say it, you don't hear them speak, and you don't see them in person, but the special advisors, and I was one of them, were going, we're doing this sort of circular motion, please finish now. And all I had in front of me were 5 questions, which only I knew, and my newsletter knew we'd gone through them beforehand. And we were talking to the Prime Minister, and they were telling us after 3 questions, can you wrap this up? And I was determined to get through them. So I hope I didn't sort of take liberties, but I certainly wanted to ask all 5 of them. And you would imagine, we didn't have them on for nearly a year, and 5 questions is perfectly reasonable. So anyway, we asked the questions. That's all fine. I mean, reaction, you've been very generous, Mathew, and thank you. A lot of people say, you're a patsy. It was, you should have interrupted him. You should have said he was lying. You should have shouted at him. You should have picked, some people say you should have picked one issue. What about, rape gangs, as I call them, grooming gangs, as others do, and only talked about that? Well, that's fine, but I asked 2 of my 5 questions on that topic, which is a very, very important topic to your viewers and listeners at Talk. It would have been basically unthinkable on Thursday to not ask the Prime Minister about Iran, and if Trump strikes, what are you going to do, which was one of my other questions. And also, he was in Staffordshire to make an announcement specifically on Warm Homes discount on a scheme for people, and the beneficiary of that of £150 extra money was the woman who lived in the house, or who lives in the house. And that's, for me not to ask a question about that would be quite weird as well. Right. So that was basically the 5 questions. I think there was one other one on immigration, which again is a very, very big issue to our viewers and listeners. I could have barracked him. I could have interrupted him. I could have, been very aggressive with him, as I sometimes am in my interviews. But actually, what I've come to the conclusion, I've been doing this now, presenting on Talk now for about 4.5 years. And what I've come to the conclusion of is sometimes you have a big barney with people. Sometimes you are very insistent. Sometimes you're very passionate. But actually, a lot of the time, you just let people say what they want to say. And yes, you can interrupt them at various points. And there are some stations, for example, that never interrupt people, who just let politicians talk and then speak afterwards. But I did a bit of that. I didn't do loads of that. Also, at the end of the day, for my viewers and listeners, not for me personally, but for my viewers and listeners, are we going to get another interview? If I just stand there and shout at him, or ask him the same question over and over again, is he's probably going to say, don't put me in a room with him again?